What's up, guys? Alright. Just a quick little drive. Ow! Wow, nice. Hold on. Feedback. We gotta bump this up to like 200. I don't like super high force feedback, but unfortunately, it does seem to make me a better driver, even though it's really loud, for one. I don't think it's as realistic to the car. The only issue is that, like, this wheel isn't the strongest, so sometimes, like, I think if I had like a direct drive wheel, which is like, the whole thing with direct drive is like a one-to-one comparison between the car's force feedback in the game and the actual output on the wheel, because there's no like upper limit on how much resistance you can feel. With this car, it's a little different. I can't hear shit. Whoa, bro! What the hell? A little out of practice. Yeah, with this wheel, like, the feedback is good and it's better than a lot of the other wheels that have come out. I think especially like the Logitech line, this is like this isn't their premium, this is like the one step below their premium wheel. So it's still pretty strong, but on the upper level, it doesn't quite give you all like the bite that I think you need for super precise driving. So when you bump up the force feedback, you get a lot more bite, but you'll get bite on like movements that you typically wouldn't. Like if you're going down a straight line, the wheel shouldn't really be fighting you that much unless like the road is bumpy or like you're trying to turn sheerly. But when you bump up the force feedback on this wheel, the wheel just becomes stiff overall. So like even when it shouldn't really be giving you that much resistance, it'll still give you resistance, which in a way lowers your ability to react to changes if like the general resistance is high, and then there's a force applied that's supposed to spike your resistance, but you already have super high resistance, you're not going to feel the spike as much. But if the spike does occur and the force feedback's low, you'll feel the spike more, but you're not going to be able to react as accurately, because as you're correcting for like, you know, if the wheel jerks this way and you're trying to control it and it's like really soft feedback, you might overcorrect and not even be able to tell. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh my god. And it'll be like fast shit like that. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool though that there's like different ways to approach sim racing. Like if you want to look at it from realism with the car versus performance on track. Oh my god, bro. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Realism is always an interesting topic though when it comes to racing or sim racing, because there's a couple different ways to approach it. Like, the first real consideration is going to be the game that you're playing. Like, this is Assetto Corsa, so it's pretty realistic, pretty accessible. It's kind of like the Minecraft of sim racing. Like, very versatile. Overall, like, simple, pretty bare bones. Like, the goal is just to replicate the way that the tires interact with the ground, mostly. And then you have iRacing, which I think focuses less on the tire interaction with the road and more so on the car weight transfer and cornering and like how much grip you're supposed to have from like a theoretical perspective with your speed plus your weight plus like your tire wear. While this game approaches it more so of like direct contact with the ground, like the tires are at this state right now. Like you can see all the updating happening. I don't know if they have this in iRacing, where it's like tire temperature. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Tire temperature. Like right now it's raining. There's a rain mod. I don't have it active right now because I had to like reinstall the game and everything. I gotta go through that whole process. But no, I'd go on a limb to say that Assetto Corsa is the most realistic in terms of like corrective driving. Like if you want to learn how to not crash, I think Assetto Corsa can do that a lot better than iRacing, because I think the ways that you crash in Assetto Corsa, it doesn't feel like you were going fast some of the times. It genuinely feels like you were doing too much. Like maybe you jerked the wheel in a way that wasn't concisive to like, you know, keeping the car on the track. And I feel like in iRacing, it's more so like you were going way too fast, or like your braking zone wasn't very good, like you didn't do a very good trail brake, so now the car's spinning. Versus like, this feels like you're, I don't even know, like, oh, you went like 1 degree too far. Now your car is like in the wall. Like that, right there. Like I feel like those small little corrections that you get with the Assetto, where like you'll fuck up and you'll bring it back, like usually like that, right? The car will step out and you can bring it back. Is something that Assetto Corsa does really well. But iRacing, if you step out in iRacing, you're pretty much done. Like there's no like, you can't be like a scrappy driver in iRacing. You have to either be, I guess it would be like, iRacing's more surgical, and this is more like, I guess it's harder. Like if this is like the Dark Souls, okay, yeah, I'll make comparisons. Assetto Corsa is like the Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne of sim racing. iRacing is probably like Beat Saber. Friggin' Gran Turismo is Tetris. Damn. The other thing is, like, when you're crashing, you do have somewhat of a say in how hard you crash. It's kind of interesting. Like, if you're good at crashing, if you can be good at crashing, technically, does that make you a better driver? If, like, whenever you spin out, you don't total your car as much as, like, or on, like, a more frequent basis. Ooh, this thing got some oversteer though. See, that's the thing, right? I think the main thing with driving is understanding the angle at which your front tires are, and understanding that this steering wheel is just a reflection of that. Like, you are the front tires. You're not really anything else as far as steering goes, other than your front tires. And as long as you know where they're pointed, like if there was like a laser shining out from where your tires are directed right now, you probably have a lot easier of a time like not spinning out, especially when the back end's trying to like step out on you. As long as you can keep those tires where you want them to be, even if the car's like swinging, like once you keep the tires dead on, it'll stable out. And if you know what angle corresponds with how far your wheels turned, theoretically you should never crash. But sometimes it's hard to tell. The more that your car steps out, the less familiar you are with your turning radius. Ow, bro, what the fuck? The harder it's going to be for you to stable out your car whenever it does go sideways. Because the general instinct, at least when you've been driving for a little bit, the instinct is to keep the wheel straight. So even when you do start to step out, like you're constantly trying to make sure that you're not like losing it. You'll swing the wheel as far this way as you can. And then when the car does start to correct, it usually will overcorrect depending on how far you stepped out in the first place. And you gotta swing the wheel back in the other direction as it's like correcting. So like here, I gotta swing back, right? And if I didn't hit the wall there, I would have to swing back again, and again, and again. But you're losing time and all that. Which that's what sucks, okay? What I hate about racing is the perfectionism. That's why I like rallying a little bit more. It's not so perfectionist, it's more so efficiency. It's not about being like on point every single time, every lap. Being able to do like commit a move on a specific corner correctly every single time. Being able to get fastest lap on command just like that. Maintaining your tires for every lap while still having a good lap time. Making sure that your car setup is perfect for the track type and weather conditions and all that. It's like, it's a lot. I don't think I could do all that, especially competitively. Like, I would never be able to race on a regular circuit. But, oh, I completely forgot the turn. I forgot the turn. Rally racing, though, I think I could do a little bit better because it's not so much about competition as it is about, like, efficiency at the end of the day. Like, the time you get while keeping your car in one piece, keeping costs down on repairs and stuff like that. Seems like a lot more intuitive of a process than lining up on a start line and trying to like place high. I don't think I could do that. I think the competition would get to me a lot more in like a Grand Prix scenario than in a rally scenario. I think I would perform not bad doing rally. But I don't think I would be a bad racer. I don't think I would be a good racer, though. That's the thing. I don't think I would excel. Because I know how I am competitively. And certain types of competition, I do not respond well to. As far as, like, the ability to perform at my peak. Because I play tennis. What else? I like draw, I do boxing and stuff. And these are things that are like, especially, mainly tennis is like very competitive. And it's one person, so it's always on you. And when you lose, it's very easy to like, I don't know, get in your head about that stuff. But what came with me losing in tennis and not being super good at like competitive play is the understanding that I'm not a very competitive person. That I have the capacity to be competitive, but I don't see the benefit in competition, especially when I have a good chance of losing, because then I start to feel really bad. And then when like you're down on your luck and you need to like, you know, pull through and like lock in, clutch up, that's not something that I can do. It's something that I'm capable of doing, but it's not something that I would count on as far as like, oh, I'm totally just gonna clutch this and like we'll be fine, or like I'm gonna lock in, use all my emotions to like play better. It's not something that it's not the way that my brain works. I'm never gonna like get mad and then start playing better because I'm mad, or get super determined and then start playing better because I'm super determined. Usually it goes the opposite. I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, we got this. Like, I know I'm down, we're not in a good spot, but I'm gonna lock in right now because I have to. I have to win. Win no matter what. And then the second that I think like that, like in tennis, the next point I'll play, I'll lose on some like really dumb shit, and then I just get mad, and then I play even worse. So it's like acute competition like that, not my strong suit. I would say though that generally speaking, I'm not a bad tennis player. That's the difference, is that even though I'm not very competitive and traditional like point carrying stuff, like I'll play probably like half as good as I usually do whenever we start playing for points. Like if not even like a quarter as good. Like my percentage of like shots that go in, and my power, and my like serve consistency, my ability to place the ball, play strategically, fucking everything goes out the window once we start playing for points. When we're practicing, when we're just hitting the ball, I'm cracked. I'm literally that guy. The second you want to play a game, a match, I start to like get in my head, and it's just the way that it is, and I'm not even mad about it anymore, but I'm aware of the fact that that's what happens when I try to do things competitively versus like, what's the word, recreationally, which is why I play recreational tennis. I could be playing competitive, it just wouldn't be fun for me because I'm not good at that stuff. If I was good at being competitive, I think I would do it, but I'm not. That's how I feel about racing too, is that as much as I want to be a race car driver, I know I'm not competitive, so I can't be a competitive race car driver. I can still drive fast cars, I can still race fast cars, just can't be in like a super competitive setting. Which makes me wonder if like the difference between like regular like Grand Prix style racing and rally would be enough for me to like not feel as though the competition is too much for me to perform at my best. Because in a rally, I genuinely think I could trick my brain into being like, it doesn't really matter that much, like we don't need to be going that fast, like there's nobody like directly behind us or in front of us that we gotta worry about. It's not like I gotta commit to passes or go wheel to wheel or anything like that. Even though it is highly dangerous, highly technical, highly stressful, highly precision based, there are definitely stakes. I don't think the stakes are as emotionally driven as whenever it's like this. Like there's a car next to me, and I gotta try to beat it. Like now it's like, I might crash trying to like catch up to this car because I feel like I'm losing, right? So I'm gonna play more risky. I'm gonna do more things that maybe I wouldn't usually do. And in the process, probably end up performing worse than I would have if I had just like ignored the car in the first place. Versus a rally scenario, you don't gotta worry about any of that. But what you do have to worry about is not wrapping your car around a tree while you're at it. And I think as long as I compete at a casual level, so to say that like I'm not doing WRC and I don't have like a freaking hybrid monster underneath me that's like $200,000 to set up, and 20K on repairs if I break the front bumper, and if I just like bought like a nice little WRX, joined like a little rally club, did our thing, I think I'd find that a lot more appealing than like even like go-karting. I wonder if they do a go-kart day at the Nordschleife. Oh my god. thing about this game, I think y'all don't get to appreciate, unfortunately. I have a friend, I don't know if Mason's probably not watching, but like, if you are in there, you know. This shit is hard. This game specifically, not even like driving. I mean, Assetto Corsa is like stupid hard. You play any other racing game, maybe iRacing, but if you're playing iRacing, chances are you probably already played Assetto Corsa. But any other racing game like Forza, Gran Turismo, the physics just don't do it justice. Like, they're definitely fun, but they're not realistic in the sense of like the way the car is supposed to react to your inputs. Like the way that you move the wheel, the car should not react like that. Okay. Yeah. The way that the wheel moves, the way that you move the wheel, and the way the car reacts to your movement of the wheel usually isn't like super accurate in Forza or Gran Turismo. Mainly because those games are meant for you to be able to play them and not lose your mind when you're 2 seconds in. Which is why it's like, that's like, okay. What do I make an equivalence? Like, it's hard to say. Yeah. Like, Assetto Corsa is like the Dark Souls of sim racing. iRacing is like, it's like Flight Simulator. Yeah, iRacing is like the Flight Simulator of racing. Assetto Corsa is like the Dark Souls. Assetto Corsa is harder, I'd say. Assetto, I don't know. I think, okay, when you look at the difference between a game like Flight Simulator and Dark Souls, I think the understanding of like what makes a game difficult versus what makes a game like, I don't know, like strict. Yeah, the systems. Yeah, okay. One of them is designed to be unforgiving, while the other one is designed to be like by the books. I think Assetto Corsa went for more of the unforgiving route. They're not really considering like, I mean, there's a lot of variables. I can't even like claim to understand fully the variables that go into each game. But I think as far as governing what you can get away with and what you can't get away with, like, like you're capable of getting away with a lot more, I think, in Assetto Corsa than you would in iRacing. Surely based on the fact that like it's not going to limit you on like what you can. There's no like hard limit on like grip or anything like that. It's a soft limit. It's like whatever the tires are willing to do, not based on how heavy your car is and how fast you're going. It's based on like where the tires are at. Which makes it easy to slip out on dumb shit, but a lot easier to save as well if you are going a little too fast in a corner, or if you are like losing control of the car. I haven't played. I gotta play iRacing before I can talk shit about it though. I have a friend who has it. I'll probably just hit him up, go to his house, try it out. Wow, you see that? It's good rotation though. Love that. Yeah. I think though, like, as far as getting acquainted with like a system goes, which one's more effective? I don't know, cause trying to be a good driver, and you're trying to use sim racing as a vector for that. I think any game technically will do the trick. The main thing though is like you have certain safety rails in games that are like, that's the tricky thing. with fucking with figuring out difficulty for games is that like if you want to get familiarized with the system and how the car is supposed to feel during certain like scenarios and stuff like that. Game like Assetto Corsa, you're gonna get on, you're gonna start driving, and you're gonna immediately start crashing every 2 seconds. And if you're crashing every 2 seconds, what good is it doing you as far as like learning how to drive, right? Versus like a game like Forza or Gran Turismo, you can get in there, you might not know the tracks that well, but you're not spinning out, right? Because it's kind of harder. Yeah, that's the big thing, spinning out. It's kind of harder to spin out in those games than it is in these games. Not to say it's impossible, but like the car isn't going to flick the way that it flicks in this game. In this game, you have to be very careful because the car will try to flick at pretty much every second. Whether you're accelerating or braking, if you got traction control on or not. The car will try to step out on you like no other car. Now that's something I'd have to like see about iRacing, is how much the car tries to step out on you. If it's anything like Assetto Corsa, which from the footage that I've seen, it's not. From the footage I've seen, people don't tend to step out. Seems to be more of like an oversteer, understeer issue of like they'll be in a corner and they're taking it too fast and maybe they hit the grass. But I don't see too much like, I don't see too much where it's like they get on the gas. Oh my god. I don't see too much where like they'll get on the gas and then the car will step out because they gave it too much. Which maybe it's just because iRacing guys are try hard and they don't do stuff like that anymore. Yeah. From what I've seen, it seems like the grip in iRacing isn't super dynamic. It's like either you have it or you don't. In this game, there's a lot of in between of like, well, the car's kind of gripping, but not really. Like especially in these sections right here, it's like the car could be okay, could not be. Surprised it's still going straight. Surprised it hasn't crashed into anything yet, but here we are. But yeah, as far as familiarizing yourself with like things like getting extra turning angle by jerking the wheel like this, I don't think Gran Turismo is going to teach you stuff like that. Not because it wouldn't work, but because you don't necessarily see it as like, no! You don't necessarily see it as necessary because you don't have issues with understeer or oversteer, like, not as much. And if you do have issues, you can fix that with your braking. In this game, it's like everything tries to kill you, and you have to figure out ways to not die, basically. You gotta figure out how to drive the car, not crash it. And then secondary is how to be fast while you're not crashing. And because the game goes first, because Assetto Corsa is first don't crash, and then second is drive fast, rather than first drive fast and second don't crash, you get a lot less of a forgiving experience while still having a lot more choice, I'd say, in the matter. Like, like the ways in which I can go about not crashing are a lot more vast and like, what's the word, nuanced than I think you could get away with in like a Gran Turismo or a Forza. Like, I guess I have to. Oh no, that would have been so cool if I hit that though. That would be fucking fire if I actually hit that. That's the thing though. It's like, fuck. Oh damn. It's late. I gotta get off. I'll give it 5 more minutes. Oh my god. It's kind of funny how these games, like, the forgiveness that you'll get for certain things and not others. Overall, this game is very unforgiving. But you can learn where the leeway is. Like, you can learn that you can do certain things that will upset the car to the point where, like, you very well should be crashing. As long as you don't do anything too dumb, you probably won't. Just, like, settle in the car, let it do its thing. Oh, you're lame as fuck. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Shattered my windshield. Bro, what the hell? Okay, yeah. I don't know. I gotta play iRacing now, because I keep talking shit about iRacing. I'll keep talking shit about Forza and Gran Turismo. I don't need to play those games to know, but I'll do that. I'll do an analysis on how I drive in this game versus how people drive in Gran Turismo or Forza on the same map. Because I've seen videos of people comparing the Nordschleife, and this map is laser scanned. In Gran Turismo, in Forza, I don't think they have it in Forza. I know they have it in Gran Turismo. I can't speak on iRacing, but in most other racing games where they feature the Nordschleife, they just like eyeballed it. They were like, "Oh, that's what it looks like. Okay, we're gonna make the track. We're gonna make the Nordschleife." But they don't get all the bumps and stuff. And when you watch someone drive the Nordschleife on like Gran Turismo, like it looks fine, but you can tell that there's a difference in the way the car's moving because of how it interacts with the road surface. Like, all those micro little like unsettlings and corrections that you gotta make. Bro, why am I so bad? Yeah, all your little micro corrections you gotta make are not as like prevalent in like the Gran Turismo version, because that game, the road's pretty smooth. Like on this section, see the way the car's kind of like doing these little rocks? You won't get that on Gran Turismo, because you won't even have to consider it. Not to say that I have to consider it in this game versus the other game, because these little like imperfections and divots and stuff aren't anything I have to really account for, as far as like, oh, I gotta slow down now, or I gotta yank the wheel when this bump comes. No, I don't gotta think about that. But these tiny nuances do lead to a lot more unsteadiness and instability in the car. So what I love about this game is that when I'm driving on this track, I feel like I'm about to die. I feel like it is trying to kill me, in a way that a lot of other racing games don't really convey, because they don't have the same amount of like little imperfections and road inconsistencies. And like that, all that stuff right there, I don't think you would get in Gran Turismo. I don't think you get the wheel jerking or the car sort of bouncing over that crest. Not for the sake of like, oh, they didn't program it in. It's just that this track is laser scanned. On top of the fact that the physics engine is a little bit more sketchy, finicky. Oh, you're pathetic. No! Such bullshit. So fucking lame. Bro. Oh! Okay. One more. But yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. Ooh. When I first got this game, first started playing, I have come a far way. 'Cause when I first started playing, bro, dude, it was not fun. It was not fun. And there's a moment I mean, I guess with every hobby that you pick up that's like hard, there's a moment where you're like, is it really worth it? Not really getting the dopamine release that I was really going for. This isn't super fun for me. But I knew that if I got it, like if at least I got like good enough to be able to know how fast I'm supposed to be going, even if I'm still crashing, I'd have a good time. Because of how finicky, sketchy, and hard everything is, and how unforgiving this game is, that when you do get it right, it feels really good. It's very rewarding. Game like Gran Turismo, I probably would have picked it up a little faster. Like the map layout, the braking zones, speed I can take each corner, but then it becomes about my lap times. And that is not as fulfilling. My lap times, my consistency, my ability to not crash when it's competitive, like, I don't know about all that, right? I'd rather just struggle with like my speed, my ability to commit to certain corners, my rotation, inching out every bit of the car while still like not crashing, rather than, you know, inching out every second of time. Wow. That's the thing about Gran Turismo though that I have to give to, is that the competitive scene is a lot better than in Assetto Corsa. I think there's competitiveness in Assetto, but like not really. Like the race culture. That's why iRacing is so popular, is because it's like if Assetto Corsa had like good PvP. But yeah, that's the thing. If I was on Gran Turismo right now, whenever I miss like an apex or something, I'd be like, no, I messed it up. I gotta reset the lap. Oh my god, I'm losing so much time. But here it's like, oh, it's whatever. As long as I didn't die. Like, as long as I don't die, I don't feel bad, right? Like, even if I didn't hit the fastest, I might shake my head and be like, could have done that a little better. Like this one right here, could have definitely done it better. But I'm alive. That's something that I can take pride in. The fact that I didn't die. I don't know if you can say the same for like Gran Turismo, where it's like, oh my god, I'm halfway in the lap and I didn't crash. That's crazy. I don't think it's the same. Yeah. It's not as finicky. This game finicky as hell. This game, one wrong move. Like that. Bro, turn off your damn headlights. Fuck. Like that, right? Like super easy to crash. I don't think Gran Turismo is like that. I feel like if I was playing Gran Turismo, I'd not be crashing half as much. That's what sucks, is it doesn't translate. I don't know if it does. I think it does translate, not terribly, because of how much the road is like detailed and the surfaces oscillate and shit like that. You can kind of like, you get a understanding of how fast like the car is traveling. And you can see the wheel like shaking and shit. You get an understanding of like, you know, there's a lot going on. Yeah. That's the main conveyance, is that there's a lot going on. But to understand how fucking hard it is to keep the car on track, even when you're like not going 100%, something else entirely. Can't really do that. I wonder if anyone stopped him. Okay. Alright, boys. I'll see you next time.